And we are live, guys. It's his fault we're late. He was talking too much beforehand. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are back again. Apologies for last week. I had a ropey internet connection in Poland and didn't want to come on a live stream where it cuts out and all that kind of stuff, because there's absolutely nothing worse than that happening. So we had a little break, but we are back now and ready to answer any questions. We've got some of the usual faces kicking about. Mr. Paul Hogden, we've got Mullins is there, Michael, who loves these Q&A chats. So we'll give it a couple of minutes. MG, so we'll give it a couple of minutes to allow people to come in and stuff like that. But Chris, what has been happening with you? Any gossip? Any things that you want to share?
I mean, everything's about the same. I've been working on people have been asking me a lot about links, so I'm working on making a 900 link, I guess, training on a tier 2 pillow link, 900 do follow links. Here you go. Instead of because I keep dripping them out, here's how you make 1, here's how you make 2, here's how you make 3. So I'm going to do 900 do follows, pillow tier 2. Here we go. So 900 of them though. So
that is a lot.
Who's doing that? Nobody.
So that's always good. Good to hear you're up to no good. We've got Itamar.
He's up to no good. This guy.
Someone from Algeria. And Dan Jones, Yazoo, and stuff like that. So guys, go.
I'm sorry.
Go. What we going to do?
I watched as I was packaging up my little bean bags and stuff here to ship out today. I noticed I was listening in the background to your last live chat. I think it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And they were at the very end, they were speaking about a particular website where you buy websites. And I have to say that it has to be probably one of the worst. I wouldn't say it's the worst experience, but as far as a professional experience as a transaction dealing with one business guy to another, it is the worst. It's the worst, man. It's pretty bad. Getting the files, okay, and then this, and then hey, let me get the analytics, and what about Search Console, and what about the accounts, and this is attached. Can I it's like pulling teeth out of these people's mouths. It's really gruesome. So with all that said, might I suggest maybe not Flippa, but I never dealt with Empire Flippers, but they seem like maybe they're more professional. Maybe go over there.
Yeah. Listen, the problem you've got here on that debate is Flippa is as cheap as chips. Empire Flippers, if you're a seller, are taking 15% of your website, 15% of the sale, but they're doing a professional job. They're doing due diligence. You're not going to get ripped off on there. Whereas Flippa, it's cheap as chips and there's not as much security. There's not as much processes and shit like that, where Empire Flippers have sold 1 million websites and try to make it seamless as possible. Whereas Flippa, people get robbed. People, deal with fucking assholes. And it's, I would agree with you. I would tend to say, depending on your budget, go to Empire Flippers. But as I think, Empire Flippers only start listing websites that are worth a minimum of 30K. So I think, you go cheaper, you're going to lose some of that professionalism, if you like. But there you go.
Yeah.
But enough about that, and on to your questions, guys. But before the questions, there's a ton of you here. Make sure you do give us a like. You always get these arseholes who click the dislike button, but make sure we support us and give us a like, because these douchebags press dislike, but they're obviously sucking up all the information. So
hello,
suckers as well, the ones that are out there. Hope you're well, even though you're pretending you're not here.
Our biggest fan.
Yeah.
They watch every video, downvote, but you watch the whole thing.
It's funny. Actually, when I was out in Poland, there was a few guys saying, I love that Chris Palmer guy. He's fucking crazy. Even the Polish guys are liking your shit, man. So just so you know, a bit of an ego boost from Poland. But on to Adam Green. Hi, guys. Hope you're good. Can I ask how you would go about building citations to a lead gen site that has no physical address? Would you just focus more on getting links from guest blogs instead? Chris, you can
generally
answer.
If there's a location, there's two ways to go about it. Generally, if I'm working with somebody that doesn't want to have an address, they have to get the mail somewhere. So we're utilizing that address. If not, if they're like, oh, I can't do whatever. Actually, there's three ways. The next way is, okay, I can go out and I can get somebody to accept mail. Maybe they have an address, somebody nearby, someone there, or maybe an office of some sort. The third one is you always have the option to go to, I was going to say their name, but you can always go somewhere and purchase a GMB that has the listing. It's already done. They give you the number. They give you access to the trunking number. It's a lot easier. So those like 3 or 4 options for you. That's what I would do. But make sure, because you want it to be relatively consistent. It doesn't have to be spot on, but you want to have the address, an address, at least where you get your mail. So that would be my advice.
Yeah. I think I can't really add anything else to that. Get an address by hook or by crook. You can look to the likes of Viva Street, Gumtree, or something like that, and guys are doing, will allow you to use their address for $20 or $30. Just get that postcard, get verified. Craig just dropped a gem on you right there. You can go, you just rewind that and listen to that because he just gave it to you. So yeah, do something by hook or by crook, make it happen. Don't say, oh, I don't want to put up my home address. I get that. I don't want to put up my home address. I'll make sure I'll use someone else's. Simple as that. Craig Mullins has got a bunch of mealworms for us.
Nice.
Not sure what that is, but yeah, Chris likes mealworms. Paul Hogden. I was fascinated with the iframe conversation yesterday. Can someone explain the how-to and why this works? So, Paul, here it is in very simple terms from me, and then we'll let Chris put his angle on it. Sure. Google loves content, right? There's no trickery. It's not about videos. It's not about images. You can add these things, of course, but you iframing. So, for example, if Chris Palmer's got a page on his website that is for CTR manipulation, for example, and I just can't be bothered writing my own stuff, and I'm a lazy so-and-so, and I want to cheat, I might iframe Chris Palmer's page and embed that onto my page so Google can still crawl the content that's in the iframe and simply rank. Job done. Nothing too complex about it. And people will say, that can't work, that can't work, that can't work. Try it out. You will see that it works. So, yes, that is the iframe conversation yesterday in a nutshell, simplified. Chris, do you want to add anything you would add to the mix there?
There's a lot to add, but first and foremost, I ran a test and I showcased it. It's within the YouTube videos, and I framed in a very popular. I did it 2 ways. I framed in a very popular SEO's page, the entire page, put it in, launched the page. Nothing, right? Then what I did is I went and took all the content on the page and embedded it into the frame. Boom, ranking for the term. So that's that. An iframe is a look into another website. Something that I really like is framing content from another page within your own site to display on this one page. So take a look at that. It's also very, very helpful to start coming up for more terms. So, there's not much to add other than I think that it's very helpful, but I think that before you just, go frame a page and start hitting it with links, I would be very, very, very careful. because it's not working how it sounds. So that's all I have to say about that.
Listen, to be honest, I think there are better things to be doing with your time
100%.
using the iframe trick. But that is essentially how the iframe trick works. Would I be doing that stuff and wasting a whole bunch of time on it? Nah. I mean, I think, you start getting takedown requests, you start to irritate and rub people up the wrong way. You may even be subject of a negative SEO attack if you start playing games like that. You're opening yourself up to a whole other world of things. You're going to piss people off if you start to steal their content. I would certainly be pissed if Chris Palmer framed something of mine and put it up on his website and just sat there and thought everything was going to be okay. And I'm sure likewise, if I'd done the same to Chris, he would be pissed. Don't go around pissing people off. Don't go around framing other people's content. It is something you can get to work to some degree, works in certain niches. It's the same way as, mass content, mass page builders and duplicate content, will work in certain industries. Framing in someone's content for a competitive search term, is that going to work that well? Probably not. But
what you're framing is you're giving whatever you're framing, you're giving them a link. So I would love for Craig to take my content and frame it in on his site. Sure, thank you. Please, by all means. But to make it work, there has to be a loop that has to come around, starting at your property and go all the way around. It can't just be a one-to-one. That's not how it works. It has to be a complete circle. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Craig. Sorry about that.
No worries. But yeah, Paul, don't. I think, with certain shows and certain stuff, there are certain tricks that people share, certain methods that people use. And yes, of course, they work to some degree, but they don't work in every industry. And what I would also say to someone is, using these tactics are likely to come and haunt you one day. And if you're wanting to talk about real SEO and real stuff, I would stay clear of the iframing thing, just on a personal level. But each to their own, as I say. Try it out. Don't listen to what Chris says. Don't listen to what I say or anyone else says. Go and try it out for yourself. Figure it out and see how effective it is in your niche, is what I would finally say on that. Ken from Bangkok is here.
Go frame your GMB. Go frame your CID. Hit that with links.
Yeah. So we'll get blogging 1,000 per day. 2 questions. Which is the best theme to use for ranking in SEO? Oh no, it's the same question. So he's put that in twice. What's the best theme to use for SEO? Do you care what theme you use, Chris?
I don't care. Whoever I'm working with, that kind of stuff is already taken care of. I mean, yeah, no, I don't care. I focus on SEO. That's it. I don't care about design. I don't care about anything. How's the content? How fast is it? What's the technical? Where's the links at? Who's got the niche edits? Where can I get saved? That's what I care about. That's design and all that fluff. That's just not me.
I'm not a designer, but what I would say is, on the theme situation, there's certain themes that are bloated, run slowly, open to hacks and all that stuff.
Oh my
Try
God.
and buy a fast loading theme is all I would say. Looks are subjective. Chris might think it looks good. I might think it looks shit. Who cares? Like, as long as it loads fast and does the job. I'm not a big designer. I'm not a designer at all. Not creative. Probably don't even have any style. So I'm not going to sit here and talk anymore about theme in terms of design.
I do have one thing to add. I recently bought a theme builder. It's called Oxygen. And I launched some pages just to test it out to see how the speed was. Easeability of building the page is a little difficult at first, but there's a ton of videos. I really like Oxygen. So if you're thinking about spending $150 and having something you could use a lot and create whatever you want and it's fast and it works good, I definitely recommend Oxygen.
Yeah, I put out a Facebook message a couple of months back just asking people about different themes. I was thinking of changing my template. Elementor was one, Oxygen was the other that came back. 9 out of 10 people were going after one of those two. Oxygen, as Chris said, is not the easiest to use, but a lot faster than Elementor. So if you have skills, Oxygen is certainly a good shout from what I've heard as well. So yeah, I'd back that one up, Chris.
Pop under. Oh my God, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do. Everything short code. People come to the page, they're like, what is this? It doesn't even look like anything. You have to render it. It's really cool. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good things.
Skills, just remember that. It's not as easy as Elementor to drag and drop and stuff like that. James Moore is asking, is SEMrush definitely worth the investment? Is it really comparable to Ahrefs? I personally love SEMrush. I love the interface. I think they've got 40 plus tools within the tool. So in terms of keyword research and all of the kind of other stuff that Ahrefs does, you've also got similar to what Surfer and POP and stuff like that do. You can also analyze content. So SEMrush have a content template, which if you put in a keyword, it will analyze the top search and say you're going to need a minimum of 900 words for that search term and so on. Is the SEMrush would, for me, I mean, they're both great tools. I'm not dismissing Ahrefs in any way, shape, or form. It's a great tool. I've got both. But if someone held a gun to my head or I had no money and I could only afford one or the other, I would go for SEMrush because there's a lot more in there. I like their auditing template. I like the layout. I think it's something, if you were doing client work, you can easily export the PDFs. And I think the data is really, really good as well. So that's my take. Chris, what are you saying about it?
I like Majestic and SEMrush. That's what I like. That's just what I like. I always, everybody was like, gung-ho about Ahrefs. So I was like, what other tool is there? I'll use anything but Ahrefs. Anything but that, because everybody's rooting for it. No, I'm going the other way. So SEMrush Majestic is what I usually use. That's what I do.
But listen, they're all tools. They all provide data. So if you're used to Ahrefs or whatever, great tool still. So there you go. Matt Pike, what are your favorite places to buy expired domains? Chris, where are you going?
I go to GoDaddy. But to be honest with you, if I'm getting something for buy one or two sites to help out a client to create something or to push something up, there's a gentleman, he sells on a lot of different places. And he gets me, I just tell him, hey, it's this niche. This is the RDs I need. He does everything. So he's able to snap them beforehand. But I've used Namejet. I've used Phoenix. I really like, check out Phoenix, check out GoDaddy. Yeah, I mean, but that's normal. But look on, say, some of these forums. There's some really great guys in there that are doing drop catching that have some crazy tools that are fair, so that's what I'm looking for.
You also can go to the likes of Domain Lore, and you can also use tools like Spamzilla, which is also another thing. But as Chris says, and I want to reiterate this point, there's guys out there who do this stuff and only this stuff for a living. They're catching all the good shit. Right. If you're going to sit there and wait for something to go on to something like expireddomains.net, then you're going to be sitting being offered the opportunities of the shit that no one else wants. So you need to know a guy, a drop catcher, or guys that buy and sell domains or whatever. And there's a couple of guys out there, depending on where you're located. But Callan, who I can put you in touch, message me and I can put you in touch with these guys on Facebook. I don't even know how to say Callan's second name. Callan Kachinov or something, Bulgarian dude. But it depends where in the world you are. But also GoDaddy auctions, grab the stuff before it even drops. You've got a fighting chance in an auction, and you've got half a chance on there. So make sure that you do consider the auctions and don't sit waiting for the good stuff to drop, because it never will. It's just my opinion. But Ken City would love to see your 900 tier 2 links. I'm sure you can share them in private, Ken, if you schmooze them up a little bit.
Well, it's gonna be for everybody. I'm gonna make it like I'm either gonna do it live or I'm gonna make it a video, like another training. Like, hey, here's how you do it. We're gonna do 900 of them. Maybe I'll do it live. I don't know yet. But Ken, don't worry.
Do it live. Nothing beats a live, man.
I know, but that could be a whole, that could be 900 of them. Can you imagine? That would be I can't think of any SEO that's done this yet. I like to think of something that's really out there, Has anybody done that yet? Not that I can think of.
Not that I know of, but you never know. There's probably some weirdo out there that's done it. But
somebody did probably, because I thought of it.
Yeah. Randy Roday's here. Hey guys. Fernando Coutinho. Hi. Good to see you. Photographer. I'm not even going to try to say that. My other language speaking is absolutely horrendous. Like, time to sell t-shirts with some sweary words. That is going to come soon, Paul. MJ, being Craig Campbell SEO, being an SEO guy near you, we should hook up and share some stuff. Backlinks I have, maybe even some guest posts. Sure, hit me up. If you've got anything of value or I've got something of value, I'm always looking to trade stuff off. So why not? Shoot me a message and we can certainly hook up and see if we can help each other in whatever way possible, even if that is sharing a couple of backlinks. I'm game for that. So shoot me a message, man. Michael is asking, which path do you like better and why? Local GMB, lead gen, or Amazon affiliate?
I mean, I really, really, really like local and lead generation. And it's only because I've been in line. I've been doing it. Like, it's handed to me. All I have to do is do the work or have somebody else do the work. But I'm personally want to lean way more towards affiliate, especially after seeing, Craig's motivation, so, Craig, a lot of these guys that I talk to, man, I'm super motivated by, once you establish the skills and, the SEO, the fundamentals, the 90% of everything, you can really utilize that to, spend more time with your family, make enough to where, hey, I don't want to be sitting there, so in my opinion, I really like GMB. I like the lead generation because of fast. I need money right now. But as far as a long-term plan, I think affiliate, but not so much Amazon.
Amazon, after that commission cut in April or May, it's just now not affordable, in my opinion. Especially unless you're doing all the work yourself, but everything I do is like, I pay a content writer, I pay for some links.
Yeah, I love that.
I can't work on 3% margin now with Amazon.
I love when you said that.
Lead gen is good. Local GMB is good. There's guys out there killing it on both local GMB and lead gen, and you'll get a hell of a lot more than 3% on Amazon. So local GMB, there's serious amounts of traffic, and it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's an untapped market, because I know there's certain markets that are so saturated, but it kind of is an untapped market because there's so many areas out there and so many niches. And every day I look at stuff and you're like, fuck, this is horrendous. You could come in here and clean up. So there are a lot of untapped opportunities when it comes to local GMB as well. But lead gen, you're in control. You generate leads, you use your skills, put your money where your mouth is, and your money will be endless. Amazon affiliate, forget it. It's dead as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully that is...
As a small caveat, two things. The lead gen, if you think you're just going to be able to jump in there and start, it's very difficult. That's why I said, people are handing me, they're already in position. They're, I just have to do the work. So it's very difficult to start up to make the kind of money that's sustainable. But to touch on what you said, something you said, like the affiliate, you have a shopping list, like you have your process and you have the list to say, okay, hey, you go do this. Hey, you go do that. You go do that. I think that's the way, Craig. I think that's the way.
It's the smart way to do it. Like, who the hell wants to be fucking around doing all the work themselves? That's the bottom line. No one. We all have lives to get on with. So Yeah, and you know, you've got a young kid as well, so or several kids, so you want to play with your family and stuff like that.
God, they're jumping on me at 5 a.m.
Chris can't even Chris can't even get off. As soon as we come off of this show, his kid's battering on the door, Daddy. So he can't even get an hour. So yeah, work smart and spend more time with your family. So that's my thing. But Elton Musa, I'm going to announce it tomorrow. I've still to pick someone, Elton, but because I've had live shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll try and get Elias on as well to announce it. So I'll do a little live at some point tomorrow and announce the winner of that, because I've now hit the 45,000 subscribers. So finally got there. Been a long slog, but finally got there. And on that note, remember to give us a like and subscribe and all that if you haven't already. Yazoo, I have just restarted subscription with Iframe, a famous old tool. I loved it. I'm trying to teach custom forms. Do you think it's a waste of time? OT, this soft is still relevant. Do you still use Iframe?
And we touched on this numerous times. I think that all of that type of stuff, it's really fun to fire up and play with. But is it part of a process that I'm using now? Not really. No. Just to mess around with. It's just not. It's more about authority and quality, establishing your entity. Just blasting links and doing that just doesn't have the same effect as it once did. So.
Yeah,
no.
You need to be careful with these tools. They're dangerous in the wrong hands. I'm with Chris on that one. I use SEO Autopilot a little bit more. It's newer. It's got different settings. You can't really go overboard. Whereas the likes of Iframe, it's just a bloody spam machine. It's like a bloody machine gun. Just dangerous in a loose cannon's hands.
Can I ask you a question really fast? When you're building out pages with SEO Autopilot, are the pages that are being built, are they brand new, fresh pages, or are you able to place a link on a page that's already established, maybe getting some traffic and already has some authority? I'm just curious.
Oh no, it's all new pages. It's creating it all for you. So yeah, you then need to go and do your shit behind the scenes, to power that shit up as well. So. But it's on Web 2.0. It's taking advantage of, powerful stuff and all that. So it's not a complete waste of time. But it still works. I just like the automated side of it. I don't want to do that grunt work.
Right.
So it does a good job, but it's how you use it. Just bear that in mind, guys. It's not a no one has the But Randy Rodet is here. So Fernando Coutinho, does adding the place ID to posts help improve GMB positions?
I think that that's just one tiny small little piece. I don't think so much for an already established business that's already receiving brand searches. But if you're brand new, you're going into a location, I think that any relationship and any entity relationship that you can create can be helpful for speeding up the process of rank. Do I think that it's at the top of the list of things that are most impactful? No. Do I think that it can help? Yes. So.
Makes sense. But one thing, I'm going to say one word, Fernando: traffic. That's it.
That's right.
Ken, do you have a recommended gig for optimizing website speed for a WordPress website? I'll give you some. I'm not going to say a gig because I don't know of any gigs, but you have, God, what's the name of it again?
WP Rocket.
You've got WP Rocket. There's another one that's got a lion's head on it. I can't remember the name
Flying
of it.
Pages.
No, not that one.
No.
God. WP Fastest Cache is a good one. I could get the name out there, but I personally use WP Rocket, but there's tons of them, and they can do a lot to optimize the speed of your website. but it's still worth getting a guy to go in and clean up some other stuff, that a guy that actually knows what he's doing, because these plugins can only do so much. But I've used plugins and it's taken it from like 2.5 seconds down to like 0.9. So I've got great value from some of these plugins in the past, but there's more to speeding up your website than just the plugin. But WP Rocket is my preferred choice, because what people don't realize on WordPress is, if I go into a blog post and I'm constantly updating it and stuff like that, there might be 40 revisions eventually of that particular page, and that shit's all stored. You need to go clean that stuff off as well, and WP Rocket does it all for you. So, and obviously backups of your website and all of that kind of stuff, are all draining space on your resources. So WP Rocket again cleans a lot of that stuff up, and obviously minifies the JavaScript and CSS and all the other stuff that goes behind speeding up a website. But do you know of any gigs, Chris, or any other advice?
I don't know the name of the gentleman, but there was a gentleman on, I think it was Upwork, one of them, right? But they're not saying like speed up site. It was page insight implementation or something like that. But they're literally they go in, they pull it out, and they fix every single thing. So they're like editing the plugins, they're compressing all the, like, they do it all. So look for somebody like that, and look for somewhere around $50. That's what I paid. So I think that's a fair price.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps you, Ken.
Yep.
Adam Green, no problem at all. So Randy Roday, how do you iframe a page? How do you capture it? Chris is the technical one here.
Yeah, it's actually quite simple, but it's one of these things, right? With an SRC equals. It's actually pretty easy. But just go in and look for, type this in the Google, copy paste embed code. It's very simple, but it's really just SRC, whatever it is, right? It's very, very, very simple. It's so easy. It's laughable.
Yeah.
But don't forget about framing your own pages for content. It's helpful. It's something I've been playing around with. It's really cool. Interesting
stuff.
And pop unders. Especially for the CTR, Craig. The pop under, forcing, like, so you go up to the URL and manipulate the URL string, right? Like do a query. So force a query as a pop under. So it automatically goes when somebody goes to the browser. Oh, it's insanity. Have you tried it?
No. But I'm going to now.
Of course, yeah.
I see you've reclaimed your position again for
yeah.
But don't worry.
The secret.
Don't worry, I'll have it back this time tomorrow.
It's been going well. I took the snippet up top, but I noticed you moved up and you took away all my videos. But when I pulled in the page, I noticed that I'm only getting 3 different keywords. You're bringing in more keywords. You're getting traffic to that page for more keywords than I am. So, I mean, I don't know what campaigns you're running, but you're doing something. Like, I'm noticing that you're doing something. You're not doing targeted like I am. So I'm only going to retain particular keywords, but you're going to overall beat me with more over the course of time. Plus, you have more authority. And plus, you're Craig Campbell. I'm just Chris Palmer. That was fun, though. I super enjoyed it. But I couldn't have you smoke me on click-through rate manipulation, right?
No, it's embarrassing. That's why I was like,
embarrassing.
You said that, I was like, fuck him. I need to fight this one. And it's been fun. So, and it will continue to be fun.
I agree.
But Kazi Farhan, cannot thank you guys enough for this. I wanted to know what to do to focus in tier 2 link building for my backlinks without spending a fortune. Which backlinks do I build tier 2 links on, traffic or DR? Both. You looking for websites that both have decent DR and traffic. That's the key point in the whole thing. For me, if this was put on the table, it was a DR30 that had traffic and rankings, or a DR40 that never had any traffic or any rankings, then I'll be going for the DR30 all day long. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
Chris, what about yourself?
I 100% agree. It's written into the patent. The propensity for a link to be clicked means that the link is more powerful. So what does that mean? A link getting traffic is more powerful. So if it links, and I'm sure you guys have noticed that too, if a link's not getting traffic, it seems to lower in value. So I will take a less powerful link that's getting some traffic than a more powerful link with zero traffic. So hopefully that helps you out, but I agree with what you said 100%. Yeah, I mean, what's there to say?
TB, what kind of anchor text ratio do you recommend for inner pages for e-commerce stores?
I don't think, I mean, sitting and I mean, I don't think that that's necessary. I mean, if it's something internal, then it needs to be exact match. I wouldn't overthink it at all. If it's something that you control internally on your page, then it needs to be exact going from page to page. That would be my best recommendation.
I think, you know, because it's an e-commerce store, because you've got so many products, because of everything else in terms of variety, you don't need to worry about ratios. There's enough variations of keywords for each page for you to not have to worry. You just don't have to worry about that. I think people overcomplicate it. Don't be spammy. Don't use the same one all the time, but mix it up. You know, it's and at that point, you know, don't worry about someone giving you a specific ratio. Yeah, there's not much else.
Briefly on that, Craig. So I 100% agree that it shouldn't be something that you're worrying about to get a finite number of this percentage for anchor text. But in your opinion, if it's internal linking and it's something you control, 9 times out of 10, are you not using exact or a partial?
Of course. Yeah.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, of course. But, you know, I think, you know, this person, you know, is worried. And, you know, the point being is, yeah, of course, use an exact match or you know, whatever you want to use. But again, do you have to do an exact match? Probably not. You know, it's all subjective. Like, you're not going to have a click here as your anchor text or something like that. If you're selling shoes and you talk about red shoes on the content on that page, and you know, you might want to link to your red shoes section, job done. You know, that's it. And it's common sense is what I would say. You know, you're not going to have, you know, buy now or something as your anchor text. You know, that's just madness. But yeah, so it's probably 9 times out of 10 going to be exact match. But again, don't worry about it. It really isn't that big a thing. Anyway, Randy Rodet is asking, what do you think about Google Stack? So you're the Google Stack man, Chris.
I think that the drive elements are not as, to put it into retrospect and to put it into a way to think about it. Let's say before, they used to all be DA1 and PA1, every single element within there. Now there's 0. So the stack is still useful, but not without sending actual links into it. Okay. So I don't think that it's the drive files that are causing the power. I think it's the stacking effect of a G site, an AWS, a Yahoo site. Maybe that is the stack, just like the clouds. But to say, I don't think that it's holding the power or the weight that it once did. I simply don't. I don't think that it's that mechanism is what's causing it. I think it's the lineup of the power plus sending in all the links. So yeah. I think you can skip that step. I think there's certain pieces in there that are helpful because they still will index and rank. But I just don't think it's as effective as it once was.
Because everyone else has ripped the piss out it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Deval Yadav. What is 2.0 SEO? Is that another one of your phrases you flung around that you've just made up?
No, never. No, I never. A Web 2, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, a Web 2.0. You know, tell us if it's a Web 2.0 you mean, but I don't know what 2.0 SEO means. You know, people are flinging terms about or throwing, sorry, I'm talking Scottish here, throwing terms around that just don't mean anything. They're just making it up as they go along, which is also fine, each to their own. But yeah, I'm not familiar with it. JMac SEO. How long does it take to get out of this sandbox? Man, he's obviously got a laughing face, so I'm going to assume that is a kid-on question. But yeah, if it's not a kid-on question, then I don't believe there is a sandbox just to create controversy. What about you, Chris?
I think that that's an interesting statement. I would love for you to expand on that.
No, I'm just saying it to say something different.
Okay.
I don't worry about that. I'll expand on it. So I don't worry too much about sandboxes or anything, because I think by the time you get a domain, do your keyword research, implement your content strategy, build some links, build some citations and shit like that, you're out this so-called sandbox anyway. Of course, there's argument as to whether there is a sandbox or you've just got a fresh domain name and it's just taking a bit longer to rank. Either way, I wouldn't waste any time arguing about it, because eventually you're going to get out of there if you do the process and stuff. So whether, no one can go on there and add tons of content or tons of links all in month one, unless you've got an obscene amount of money. I think just as a natural progression, you'll come out of this so-called sandbox. But is there a sandbox or is there not? No one knows the truth of that's the bottom line. What I would tend to say is a lot of people may think there's a sandbox, but their website just might not be moving enough because it's a brand new website and it doesn't have any power and authority to do that. Now, the counter argument is people saying, well, would Google, and it probably makes common sense as well, would Google just trust a brand new domain name that Chris Palmer buys and shove some content on there? Is it going to hold it back slightly just to see what the hell he's going to put up? They could do as well. So yeah, I listen. I've heard all these arguments, and that's just my take on it. Just do your job, do your processes, and you'll come out the other side, no problem. I've never had a problem with that. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I think that's the truth. I mean, there's not much to say on that. By the time you get following a proper process, you should be starting to trickle in some traffic and be ready to roll. So I think you're 100% right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but just for the record, there is no sandbox if anyone wants to argue, just to be controversial. I'm just trying like a politician's thing. Just say something weird so that everyone comes at you and gives you shit for it, just to create hassle. So, yeah, so Paul is confirming that Oxygen is good. Paul is a web designer, so he can confirm that. And yeah, listen to Paul. Abhay Kaul, do things like RankRX and SEO AP work, or are they just spamming tools? Should people in 2020 use it? What's the best link building method? Is link building overrated? So there's about 5 questions all within a question there. Chris, do you want to start this one?
Link building is definitely not overrated. It's the foundation of Google. So definitely not overrated. As far as what's the best link building method, I think anytime you can get an authoritative link that is receiving traffic that's related to your business brand or service, that's the best link. And then as far as our RankRX and SEO AP spam tools, I think that these are link building tools, and I think that they're a tool and they have a purpose. So that should cover all the questions, I think.
Yeah. Use it in 2020. Use these tools, RankRX, SEO AP, to power up other links that you've got. Just to be clear on that. JMac SEO again. What's your thoughts on Ubersuggest versus Ahrefs or SEMrush? Do you like this Neil Patel's tool?
I don't even think that it's in the same league. It shouldn't even be brought up in the same conversation, really. I don't think that Ubersuggest can even sit at the same table with Ahrefs and SEMrush.
I would agree. It comes down to the level of data and spend and all of that stuff. And the likes of SEMrush and Ahrefs, the amount of money they pay for the data and everything else, and the amount of development to those tools over a prolonged period of time, just means that Ubersuggest, as you say, can't sit at the same table because they don't have that time under the belt. They don't have the same level of funding. They don't have the same level of customers, and therefore cannot afford the same level of data that the other tools produce. So that's my opinion. I'm sure someone will tell me that it's a lie, but there you go. So, Facebook user, hope you're well, guys. Hope you're well, Mr. Facebook user. Twalk 3 design. Is there a good process for finding tier 2 links to point tier 3 links at?
I mean, as far as touching on finding the links, if you're opposed to maybe not buying them, the best thing to do is pull in start with the top 10, pull in their links. Which ones can you build? Give it to a VA, see which ones you can build. As far as pointing tier 3 at a tier 2, I'm not sure what that question is getting at. But when you start getting out into those further tiers, then you can cheapen the amount of links that are coming in, like which ones you're buying, really. So that's that. I mean, I don't know what that question is really.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because also what I'm taking from this question is you should know what your tier 2 links are, and you should be slamming, if you want to, tier 3 links at those tier 2 links. That there's no process for finding them. You need to understand or buy like niche edits, for example, if that's your tier 3 or whatever the hell your tier 3 is, whether it might even be SEO Autopilot or one of the other tools, powering up niche edits. I don't know, but that's something you should be able to answer. There's no process for finding them. You, in your head, will have a money site, handful of guest posts. The guest posts are powered up by niche edits or PBNs or whatever the hell you've got. And if you want to do anything under that, that's your choice. But I wouldn't worry about going too far down the chain either in terms of tiers. I think that's madness to go down too far, in my opinion. But there you go. Thank you, Reason to Design. We have had that one, blogging per day. Elton Musa, what affiliate networks are you now using that Amazon lowered the commissions? Chris, do you do any affiliate network stuff?
I use Crack Revenue for Instagram, and then as far as anything else that I'm building out, I send it to eBay because it's just what I've been using. So I don't know. That's what I do.
So, Elton, what I'd like to say to yourself is, don't just look for a network. It doesn't have to be a network. There's lots of private affiliate deals out there. Now, I'm not saying don't go. There's CCG affiliates. There's tons of affiliate networks out there. And if you Google them, you'll see ones with all varying different amounts of commission. As far as I'm concerned, affiliate networks are low commissions and stuff like that. Where I would be looking at is going to private affiliates. Not even things like Target, for example, or it depends on what niche you're in as well. We can't just say Amazon have lowered the commissions. Like if you're in the golfing niche, for example, I used to have a golf website. Amazon lowered the commissions. The guy that bought my golf website from me went to an American golf retailer, and Amazon are offering 3%. The golf retailer was offering 15%. So it's a no-brainer to for and that was always going to be the case. They're always going to flip away from Amazon. So look, it's niche dependent. You've also got pet supplies. You've got Chewy, which is a great big network. It's not a network, but a big website that allows you to do pet supplies and stuff like that. So it really comes down to niche. We can't just say here, go to Chewy or go to this or go to that, because that's only relevant for people in a certain niche. But you Google that and you will find something. Don't always go for the big networks, because the commissions are small. The networks are also making money as well. So look private is what I would say.
Makes sense.
So I run out of breath there after that rant. Paul Hogden, do you have an opinion on dropshipping? Any pros or cons you know of? Image, a dropshipping store created like an affiliate marketing website. Interesting combination. What do you think, Chris?
I used to use Dropship for digitizers, screens, anything to fix iPads, iPhones, all that stuff. And I was using Dropship, and it was nothing but headache. What I found to be a lot better was finding the best few items that were consistently moving. And then what I did is I just went and bought 500 units, sat on them, and then shipped them out. It's the same package size. It's really easy. That's what I was doing. I didn't like drop shipping. I thought it was a real pain. There's too much. I don't like it. That's just my opinion.
I had a few drop shipping websites in the past, and found that even using a drop shipper could be painful. Now, I know there's guys out there who have successful drop shipping businesses, and there are good drop shippers out there. But if you're looking for someone, look for a big professional company who really do hold the stock that they claim they hold, because loads of guys out there pretend to be wholesalers, and then you build up a clothing web. I've done it with a clothing website. I've also done it in the e-cig business. And the guy ran out of the flavors and stuff because he was working in his kitchen, and he pretended that he was a big drop shipper, and he wasn't. And also, I think with the clothing one that I was involved in, it was just cheap, crappy women's clothes. It was nothing special, but they ran out of the good stuff, and the stuff that was selling off the shelves. I couldn't get it made anymore. So I built up a fucking side hustle selling all this shit, and then boom, the stock goes missing. Like they can't get any more of it. So it's out with your control, and that's why I don't like drop shipping. So so make sure that there are going to be a million others, but I've failed with drop shipping several times, and that's just some of the pain points I had. Hopefully that helps you.
Too many hands in the pot.
Yeah.
You gotta control it to make it work. It seems like.
Exactly. So Rumenego Fernandez, hopefully I've got that right. How much does a folder in a URL delay page speed, specifically like the language segments like EN or DE or whatever?
It seems like it does cause a delay, but I think that it's only, I can't say for sure because there's no test, but it does seem like that, as you're saying, I think that there is some type of delay, but if it is, it's only microseconds, it's only a little bit. But I mean, I don't have anything to prove that. It just seems that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Paul Hogden's also saying W3 Cache is another plugin for the guy looking for site speed. And Fernando Coutinho is a Brazilian wedding photographer. Good to see you, man.
Cool.
I love, but Ronaldinho was my hero. I love Brazil. Big football fan. So yeah, Ronaldinho is a legend. I know you probably might not even like football, but yeah, Ronaldinho is the man. Anyway, Javid Hakimi, does FAQ Schema still work for everyone? It used to work for me, and now the questions don't show up in the SERP. Everything on Google structured test shows no errors or warnings. Chris, how do you answer that?
I mean, implementing those different types of schemas, generally before I go out searching to see if I'm going to implement, whatever, we'll say facts or Q&A, I'm looking to see if that SERP is actually showing that type of result. Just like with YouTube videos, I'm not going to try to rank a video that's not showing up on Google. You see what I mean? So it might just be that SERP isn't showcasing that particular enhancement. So do I think it works? Do I think it's helpful? Yes, but not every single SERP is going to show,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's something you're doing.
No, definitely not. And it will come back. So if you've done everything, there's no errors. There's not much more you can do. Kazi Farhan, I've sent you a message on Facebook. If you could help us newbies out with connections where you can find a person. So, guys, what I want to say is I cannot physically answer every message I get on social media.
Oh.
I get asked about 500 questions a day, and I'd love to be able to reach out to everyone and help them. But it really has to be you guys that do your own research when you're looking for someone. I don't have endless amounts of connections that after someone's done a website with DWP Rocket, if I want my website cleaned up, I go to Paul Hogden, who's in the chat here. He deals with my website. I don't use anyone else bar him, so I don't have connections on Fiverr or Upwork or any of these guys. By all means, reach out to Paul, but guys, do not send me messages on Facebook asking for me to do the research for you. I just get way too many messages, and I don't want to come across as an ignorant idiot, but it really is tiresome when people ask questions constantly. And as I say, I like to think I'm approachable, but I'm not going to do your legwork for you. So there you go. Nitro Pack's also a good one from Ken Green. Looking for a so this is a Facebook user looking for a good plugin to personalize products with a live preview before purchase for WooCommerce. You know anything about that, Chris?
I mean, if you're interested in, testing out, if you're asking if you want to test a plugin or something, is that what he's asking? He wants to test out a plugin before he buys it? Is that what he's getting at?
No, he's just looking for a recommendation of a plugin that allows you to personalize the products with a live preview. I don't know off the top of my head. Paul Hogden, maybe worth shooting a message to. He's also in the live chat, and he might be able to point in the right direction because he does web design and all that stuff. So hopefully Paul can help you, Xander. Unfortunately, we're unable to. I don't know about that personally. Michael, I was in yesterday's live chat and I can't find Mike Pearson Skype. Do you think you can give them my contact info so I can reach out to him? It's Mike_Pierce on there. But yeah, if you ping me a message on Facebook, I can make sure that that is correct. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it is Mike_Pierce. But if not, shoot me a message on Facebook. I know I've just told people not to. I don't mind stuff like this. I'm not going to sit and check out people and do your legwork for you in terms of finding developers and stuff. Leads Mutt, for a 50-site network of lead gens with some crossover of locations and niches, would you keep the GA and GSC as separate Google accounts to avoid the footprint he's not using either? So what do you do in this situation, Chris?
I think that they should be separate. Unless it's under the same brand umbrella and you have multiple locations, then you can obviously put it all within one. But generally, it sounds like to me, you're going to want to separate each and all. So that's what I would do.
I've got another question, Chris.
Yes.
And I'm going to see how you would respond to it before we do wrap up, guys. Sadly, we do have to wrap up in a second. What am I supposed to do with this?
Speak slowly. We're facing issue to do different. Laugh and move on.
Yeah.
It's in fact, I don't even know the word. Like somebody would spend the time to write that is just,
Come on. It's, sadly, guys, if you can't understand me, I can't do much more. It's I wouldn't watch something in an Indian language or anything like that. Certainly I can't understand it, and I wouldn't criticize the person for speaking in Indian. I can only speak one language, and sadly, I can't do much more. I've tried to adapt my voice, but there you go.
I don't think you're that hard to understand, Craig, to be honest with you.
I'm not, man.
I mean, geez.
But one last question from Angad Kapoor. Do press releases even push the needle for GMB rankings, or is it overrated?
I don't think that it's overrated. I don't know about pushing the needle directly, but I think for associating your brand with other keywords, right? My brand plus keyword, I'm doing a press release. I think that it's helpful in that sense, building entity relationship, right? More instances of my business name alongside with a keyword. That's the only way I can explain it, really. I think that they have a place. I like them. I think they're helpful. I think that using embeds inside of them are really helpful. So that's that.
Yes, very good. And one last one I'm going to do for JMac SEO, and I'm going to ask Chris the question, and then we are definitely wrapping up. What's the quickest, spammiest way to make money using SEO that you've ever done, Chris? Because I like that question.
I bought a text list, and I was utilizing affiliate offers from Crack Revenue, actually, and blasting them out to the text list. The text affiliate through text is very, 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 very helpful, and you get a lot of clicks. So that's the spammiest thing that I've done recently that was helpful.
What I done was recently was Chris Palmer was trying to take me on for a specific search term, and I just slapped his affiliate link right at the bottom of my CTR page, clicked the shit out of that page, or made other people click the shit out of it, and made a few quid. That was very simple.
More than a few, you bugger. I was like, wait a minute here.
So, yeah, that was a good kind of spammy way. And it's always good to take money off of Chris. I can feel his pain paying it. He's like, friggin' bastard. But yeah, good fun. But anyway, guys, sadly we are out of time. But it has been a pleasure. Thank you for all the questions, and obviously thank you, Chris, for coming along and helping, and obviously allowing JMac to have a laugh at your expense when I'm emptying your pockets, Chris. I actually feel bad now, but fuck you. It was good. But thank you, everyone. We will be back again next week for more of the same. So see you all then. Cheers, guys.
See you. Thank you.